Today, we're going to be talking about beauty fixes that don't work. So, if you've ever signed up for a subscription box or bought the latest beauty trend, or even just copied someone else's routine because it worked for them, but it ended up feeling like you were being a prude or a prune. I know I feel that way sometimes when it didn't work for you. I totally see you, and that's why we're talking about this today. This episode is for every single woman who's ever been made to feel that what she was doing wasn't enough. Because the truth totally is the beauty industry spends billions of dollars convincing you that you're not enough, and that you'll need this product or this serum, this shade, this outfit, this trend. And if you don't have it, you're not enough and you're totally behind, right? Like that's how they make you feel. And they do it so well, and we don't even realize we're being played. So today I'm going to totally be trying to pull back the curtain a little bit. I'm going to be showing you how to finally stop wasting your money and your time on fixes that don't actually fix anything for you, how to break the emotional buy-in that's been wired in us for decades, and how to build that routine that's aligned with you and your life and how you live, not in how someone else does. So, yes, that means totally unsubscribing from those makeup boxes, beauty boxes, fashion boxes, and ignoring the seasonal trends and those launches every single time. You know, we have that special color that's released every year, right? And we're going to be listening to our own bodies, our own skin, our own spirits, and our energy, even, right? So I hope that today is going to hit deep with all of you and it's going to set you free. Because I have spent years testing products, researching ingredients, helping women just like you to cut through all that beauty noise, to reveal what actually is going to be working for their skin, their bodies, their lifestyles. And so, we bypass all that marketing stuff and we totally find the right fit for you. And just so you know, I do have a worksheet for every episode. So that is included with today. It's free. If you just go join the Making Life Beautiful Again Facebook group, you can totally grab that whenever you want. And you'll love how it helps walk you through a custom way to get this for you. And then hang with me all the way to the end because I'm going to be sharing my number one go-to skincare product for fall. One thing that I never skip when the heat is being turned on in our houses and drying up our skin. All right, so tell me in the chat, what's one beauty product that you bought because someone else swore that it was going to change your life and it did absolutely nothing for you? Like I've definitely been through this. In fact, I probably have several sitting in my bathroom closet or in my wardrobe closet right now. I have to admit, like recently, I got stuck into one of those Facebook ads. You know, the ones where like they're selling you this monthly fashion subscription box full of all these products, right? Clothes that claim that they're going to be perfectly curated just for you. And I was close to literally clicking the buy button until I read the comments. And it was like chaos in there because people were complaining that nothing fit, the colors were awful, and I really quickly snapped out of it just from reading those comments because it reminded me of what I do here for all of you. And I realized this is exactly how so many of us feel stuck in this beauty overwhelmed place, right? We're sold this dream that somebody else, some algorithm, some influencer or brand, they know us better than we do ourselves. And this is what nobody tells you. Like when you copy someone else's skincare routine, their makeup, their fashion, their hair advice, it's like putting on their eyeglasses, right? And expecting to see clearly. Recently I was just playing with my husband's glasses just to see how bad his eyes had gotten, and I was like, wow, it's so blurry. And so in this case, when somebody is suggesting a product to you, it might be working for them, but for you, it might end up being blurry, uncomfortable, and at best, a waste of your time, but at worst, you're spending money to try to fix something that might not have been your problem, right? Even to begin with. And here's where it all gets a little bit gross when you think about it, because the beauty industry knows this. In fact, they depend upon it. And they spend billions of dollars, like I said before, each year hiring the smartest marketing minds in the world to write these ads and campaigns in a way that's designed to make you feel like what you have is not enough. And they don't just sell you products, right? They're selling you insecurity. They create this feeling that if you don't have this product or this trend or this outfit or this lipstick or follow this step, you're behind. You're not enough. You're not going to meet the standard. You're not keeping up. You're letting yourself go. And so here in this case, we all fall for it, right? Because it is emotional when you're being told that your wrinkles are now aging you, or that color is outdated, right? It's so 80s, right? So in this case, you're not just buying the moisturizer, you're buying the hope that it's going to make you look less tired or less invisible or less past your prime. And that's not just smart marketing. I mean, because they really are good at it. It's manipulation and it's working. Okay. So I want to keep this totally plain today for all of you listening. If something didn't work for you, it doesn't mean that you failed. It totally means that the beauty industry succeeded at what they do best, at selling you a solution that you didn't even need, or a solution that they may have created. Okay. So definitely, if you have felt this way, drop a yes in the chat. I've totally been there a bunch of times, especially because I try several products in a year's time to test their efficacy for clients and things like that. And so I'm just really glad to be having this conversation with you guys. All right. So we need to kind of talk about something a little controversial here. This obsession with like layering every trending product under the sun and hoping for a miracle. You try a serum, it doesn't change your life overnight like you expect. So then you might add another, and then your favorite influencer adds another one to your routine, right? And suddenly you're paying chemist with your face because you've got all these things going. And it's like mixing a bunch of colors together, hoping for a masterpiece, but ending up with a muddy brown mess. Okay. Because what often happens is when you have all these actives or too many trends, too many colors, too many patterns, whatever it is, instead of getting a glow like you thought, you often end up with irritation or inflammation of your skin or drying it out. And those are the things you're trying to solve, right? And so your skin, it gets confused. Other people, when they see all those patterns on your body, they get confused. Nobody really knows who you are and what's going on. And so every product is formulated to work on its own. But when you start combining them, especially with actives like retinol, acids, peptides, vitamin C, they can kind of cancel each other out depending on the ingredients in there. And like I said, worse, they could be amplifying an irritation. And so your skin doesn't know where to focus when it's receiving all that information. So, but I am going to insert here. I know people don't love me when I say this, and I'm going to step on a couple of toes and ruffle a couple of feathers, but I'm not a huge fan of retinol products. I don't mind gentle forms of vitamin A, so let me just say that. But when it comes to retinol and its chemical forms, it can be very harsh and mess with your skin barrier. And as we get older, we need our skin barrier to be intact. We need it to be hydrated. We need it to be moisturized. And so when your skin's already dry from the fall and winter weather because we've got our heater running 24/7, you get that retinol added in, and there's extra actives, and it's a recipe for tight, angry, flaky, inflamed skin. And so you're not going to get that glow that you hope for. So I'm hoping I'm saving you time and money right now by telling you this. And I know I got a little off track here, but it's something I'm passionate about. But more isn't better here, right? Especially in this fall and winter. This season, your skin needs to feel supported and not stressed out. We can handle a little bit of stress, like say in the summertime, because you have that extra hydration, your body's sweating, so you're getting lipids to the skin barrier. And in this case, we're not getting that. So you need to simplify your routine, which I hope that's going to save you money. And these are the steps that I stick to. It's just three simple steps: cleanse, hydrate, moisturize. And when you have a really great cleanser and a really great hydrating product and a really great moisturizer, you only need one product to do that heavy lifting for that purpose. And so if you're wondering what I personally use to get through this season when we've got the dryer running all the time without looking like a dried up prune, because I definitely have had that the last couple of weeks. So I've been using this product this last week just to catch up. But it's really simple. It's Mother Plumper by GiveADerm, and they're a non-toxic skincare company run by Christian women. I know them personally and love working with them, but it's full of peptides and it gives that skin your hydrating, the water content that it needs without causing irritation. And so, this is my routine. I start with a creamy clay cleanser, and then I go and I use that Mother Plumper to get that hydration that we talked about. If I need a little bit more hydration, I can use a mist, and then I follow up with a really great moisturizer. And I will tell you, at nighttime, I do the same thing, but then I'll add Mother Slugger from GiveADerm as well on top of it, because it locks everything in. It acts as an inclusive, keeps my skin soft. And honestly, by morning, it helps reduce fine lines and preventing that dry skin that causes those deeper wrinkles, right? Because of the heater running. And so if you want to try those products, you can use my code Michelle Rose at giveaderm.com and try them out. They're really fantastic. But don't take my word for it, because I just told you, right? Influencers out there, they say things, but I will say all the clients that I've ever worked with, these two products do work for them. Okay, so let's go ahead and talk about something that doesn't get nearly enough airtime, I believe, in this beauty space, and that is the word discernment. Okay, the Lord put into you discernment for a reason. Every single one of you know what's best for yourself and how God has designed you and made you. And so, with all of that noise out there, you've got the ads, the influencers, recommendations from friends. It's way too easy to get swept up and spend all that money on something that was never meant for you. So, I want to share a strategy that I use when I find myself in this place. And like I said, I'm talking about skincare, I'm talking about makeup, I'm talking about fashion, a haircut, and I am due for a haircut, you guys. I'm so excited. I get one tomorrow. But over the years, I've learned that if I want to protect my time and my money and my energy, I need to pause before I buy anything. And so I started using a series of questions that help me do this, right? I run through these things before I am willing to say yes and or no. These are in the worksheet for anybody who is wishing that they had a pen and paper right now, because I know I like to listen to podcasts in the car. And so just know that they are in the worksheet. But the first question I ask myself is, do I already own something similar that I am not using consistently and have not given it a chance, right? Most of the time, you don't need anything new. You already have what you need, and you just need to go and give it a second chance and give it a long running chance, right? The second question I ask myself is, has this been on my mind for a couple of days? Or did I just get excited in the moment? Because that is so easy to do. But impulse buying, it can feel totally productive, you guys. It feels like Christmas morning sometimes. But it feels that way until it ends up being clutter and trash in your drawer, right? Okay, so number three, this is the last question I ask myself, and I ask myself, does this match my lifestyle and my values? Or am I just buying it for a version of me that I wish I was? If something only works when you completely change your routine and your schedule and everything else, the chances are it's not meant for you and it probably won't last, right? You may give it a week and then it's done. It ends up being like all of those New Year's resolutions and routines. But these questions provide clarity for how you need to respond, whether it's a yes or a no, right? When you have a decision, these help you stay rooted in who you actually are. And then you can actually move out of that and live freedom. There's a line in Proverbs 31 that I love. She is clothed with strength and dignity, and she can laugh at the days to come. That kind of woman doesn't need to prove anything or need to try out everything, right? She knows what's right for her. She's quiet, she's confident, and she laughs at the days to come because She is so confident. This is totally who I aspire to be like. And I know that all of you do too. So, okay, I hope today that I gave you a little bit more peace when it comes to making these decisions about beauty industry things, whether it's your skincare, your hair, your style, anything else. Remember, you get to decide what's worth your time and money. That's so important to know. And sometimes the most powerful choice you can make is to do less, but with more intention. And so that's what I think fall is all about as we move into winter. So, if this episode has helped you rethink something in your routine, I'd love to totally hear about it. Share it with a friend, post a takeaway in the Facebook group, or just shoot me a message. I read and reply to every single message that people send me. I love getting those emails. Next week, I'm bringing on someone really special. Her name is Gwendolyn Searles. And she's a prophetic makeup artist. And if you have never heard of that phrase before, just wait, you're going to love this. But we're going to be talking about how makeup can be more than a mask. It can be a ministry, and how scripture, self expression, and soul care can all show up together in that mirror. So, that episode is going to be called The Real Secret to Looking Lifted Isn't in Your Makeup Bag. And I promise it's going to totally lift your spirit and your face. So, I hope you guys will be there. All right. Talk to you later.